My Airbnb host is harassing me to delete my review, but I didn't even leave a bad review, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I already know that I'm not going to be leaving them a 5-star review, so I don't have high hopes.
So I'm going to insert some clips of what the garden was looking like on the listing compared to what actually it looks like.
Y'all gonna hate on me for saying this, but they kind of trashed the place.
Toilet paper is always gone. 2 full rolls of toilet paper, 2 night stay, 2 people.
Is anyone else just fed up with Airbnb? Because I sure am, and many other people are as well. Airbnb, back in the glory days, used to be a cheaper alternative to hotels. The other benefit of them are they tend to have a kitchen. You can rent someone's entire home out. You can take a big group of people there and still be together, but also have separate rooms. And instead of staying in a hotel and feeling more like a tourist, you're staying in someone's home within a neighborhood, and you kind of get that feel that you're a local while you're visiting. But a growing number of people are getting fed up with Airbnb, completely throwing in the towel and going back to hotels because of some of the problems we're going to see in today's video. Starting it off with the laundry list of checkout instructions that the hosts have you do, even though you're paying a cleaning fee.
Please make sure you fluff every pillow at least 7 times. Before leaving, please remember that all chairs must be facing true north upon leaving. Garbage and recycling must be taken out by you 5 minutes before you leave, no more, no less. The garbage goes 1 mile left, you have to walk, there is no way to get there any other way. Recycling is actually a mile the other direction to your right upon leaving the house. Yes, there is a timer. If you do not get there in time, you will be bringing your own garbage and recycling home. All guests must ensure the same amount of ice cubes are in the freezer upon leaving as there was upon arrival. Guests must ensure every soap dispenser is refilled to the level that it was upon arrival before leaving. Every single couch cushion must be flipped to the opposite side before you leave. If you use the pool or hot tub, you must ensure the water level is the same when you leave as it was when you arrived. Also, the temperature cannot be changed. If you got any bug bites while you were on our property, please make sure you leave a detailed note highlighting every single bite that was received by somebody in this home during your stay.
Now, of course, this is a parody video, but a lot of us can relate to it because these Airbnb hosts have a whole list of chores that you have to do, mind you, before your 10 a.m. checkout time. I wish I could say this is an exaggeration, but it's really not. Then they slap you with the $200 cleaning fee. In a hotel, you don't have to do any chores. Now, of course, there's typically not a kitchen in most hotels unless it's an extended stay, but there are no chores. There is someone that comes to clean your room every day. You get fresh towels, clean bed sheets, but at an Airbnb, they want you to put all your dishes in the dishwasher, which I understand that is kind of gross to leave dirty dishes. They want you to strip the beds, put your bed sheets in the laundry, take out the trash, essentially making sure everything was left the way you found it or better, even though they're gonna have cleaning service come in and clean the entire place, or the owner themselves is gonna come in and clean the entire place before the next guest. Another thing I've come across on TikTok is this new trend where Airbnb hosts will bring you into their Airbnb after a group has left, and they'll show you firsthand how the guests have left the place and ask you to rate the guests. It just feels very invasive and unnecessary for them to do this, and oftentimes these hosts are complaining about how guests left the place when they have left it immaculately clean.
I already know that I'm not going to be leaving them a 5-star review, so I don't have high hope. Living room looks good. The reason I know I'm not going to be leaving them a 5-star review is because our neighbors texted us this morning saying that these guests were driving around the neighborhood really loud and like racing in their cars and stuff, and it was disrupting the neighborhood. And number 2, they were smoking outside, not cigarettes, if you were catching my drift. He said it was so strong that he couldn't let his son go outside. And these neighbors are super chill. If he says it's bad, I trust that it's bad. So far, it's actually looking cleaner than I was anticipating. Office looks good. Found this under one of the beds upstairs. I hear a dripping noise and I'm not sure where it's coming from. There were 8 guests, so I was also expecting it to be pretty messy just because of that. And they had no reviews, but they actually left it like in pretty good shape. So even though they left it in good shape, just because of the text from the neighbor and them breaking our house rule of no smoking, especially something illegal, I am gonna be leaving them less than 5 stars.
And the description for this TikTok is, how would you rate these guests? No smoking outside is pretty wild. Can I have your Airbnb details so I know where never to stay? PSA, don't rent this Airbnb, prejudged, and they left the house perfect. Generally, no smoking tends to apply to inside the house, not outside, and I'd probably make that clear in the listing instead of just assuming people would know that. I'd be livid as a guest if you left a bad review over things allegedly that I did outside the house that you didn't even witness. If they did it outside, your property is in good condition and clean, there's no reason to give them a 4 because you don't know for sure if they were the ones smoking or racing. No proof equals no bad review. I don't know, but if I found out an Airbnb host was having their neighbors spy on me and report back to them, I wouldn't be giving you a 5-star either. I agree with all of those comments, especially the one that says it's crazy that she prejudged before she even saw the inside of the place because they were allegedly smoking outside and racing their cars. How does she even know that it was for sure her guests who did that? Unless she has a ring camera outside, but it sounds like she just heard it from the neighbor. And there's just no grace given to these guests who had a party of 8 and left the house looking spick and span. I don't know, I just think if you're gonna be this nitpicky, you shouldn't be an Airbnb host.
Come with me to see how Airbnb guests left the place after a 2-night stay. Let's see. All right, so they used the blanket, which is here, and they must have also used the pizza blanket, which I'll find in a second. Okay, so overall, looks good. Can't really complain. Let's check the kitchen. Okay, so not too bad, not too bad. Looks like they didn't use the coffee. Oh, they did. Okay, they opened it. And then let's check the trash. They didn't take the trash out, which I don't require the guests to, because I just use it when I'm cleaning. All the waters are gone. They were thirsty. Let's check the dishwasher. No dishes. Let's check the oven because I remember one of the first guests, I just ended up opening the oven just because to see if they used it. Was a mess. There was literally chicken wings hanging out in the oven. I was like, maybe I should start checking the oven each time the guests leave. Okay, left some trash in the trash can and hopefully they didn't leave any items in the closet. Okay, all good. I'm always scared to check the bathroom. Dun, dun. They left some soap. Okay. I literally leave 2 rolls of toilet paper in here for a 2-night stay, and which I personally think is more than enough. Toilet paper is always gone. 2 full rolls of toilet paper, 2-night stay, 2 people. Let me know what you think about that. Oh, let's stop here. Looks like they used some of the towels. All right, first look, what do we think? Definitely could be more tidy. Here's the pizza blanket. Let's see if they left anything here. Pillows on the floor. Okay. Trash in the trash can. Yeah, man. Probably gonna have to get someone to do the bathrooms. I ain't doing this, bruh. All right, how are we rating these guests?
Is this rage bait, you guys? Please tell me if this is rage bait because when she asked what we would rate these guests, 10 out of 10, they left the place spick and span. And the comment about the toilet paper was wild. Like, if you're leaving people, a group of 2 people for 2 nights, 2 rolls of toilet paper, who cares if they use it all, right? Toilet paper is cheap. It's your job as a host to be hospitable. I think that's what a lot of these Airbnb hosts are missing. They don't really want people in their Airbnbs. They want you to just sleep there, not use anything, and then be a perfect guest and leave. I think they're just in it for the money, honestly. And also a guest might think, hey, maybe I'm not gonna leave my half roll of toilet paper here because it's probably not gonna get used for the next guest. The host is probably gonna put a brand new roll of toilet paper. So to avoid waste, let me take it home and use it at home. So the fact that she's so concerned about the toilet paper is just so odd to me. Is it possible to leave a negative review on an Airbnb I didn't stay at? That was the top comment with 180,000 likes. I'm an Airbnb host. They left it great, 5 stars. And the creator responded, how much toilet paper do you leave out? As much as is needed for the guests, girl. It's super annoying when you go to an Airbnb and there's not enough toilet paper and you have to run to the store and get it. Just provide these for your guests. Someone responded, mind you, people have different stomach issues, IBS, Crohn's disease, menstrual cycles. Are you okay? They use the blankets. They use the towels. Trash in the trash can. Are we okay? Are they allowed to walk on the floor? This made me realize Airbnb hosts don't understand they are in the service industry. Not too bad. It's literally clean. And that was the top comment actually with almost 500,000 likes. Could be more tidy. Girl, they're Airbnb guests paying you for their stay, not house cleaners. I did not understand that when she walked into the bedroom and said it could be more tidy. All I saw was that the bed was not made, which is fine because they need to clean the sheets between guests anyway. There were some pillows on the floor, which again, the bed has to be cleaned and made before the next party, so I don't see the problem with that. And I saw a towel hanging on a towel rack. What is the issue? And that brings us right into our next clip.
We just got home from vacation.
Let's go see how our Airbnb guests left our house while we were gone.
This was a 1 guest, 2-night stay, and they were in town for work. Let's go check out the inside.
All right.
Well,
So,
it looks like they definitely used the space.
We got a comforter on the couch here, and the pillows have been messed with. The remote for the ceiling fan was on the couch, but the TV remote is missing.
Oh no, the lamp broke too.
They broke our lamp. All right, we'll see if this can just be easily...
Okay, I did find the remote over here under some of the cushions, so that's good.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to just pop this back on because it does look pretty gnarly.
Definitely played the piano because the bench is moved.
Good, that's what it's here for.
And all this stuff is moved. I don't know why.
I highly doubt there is a note in here, but hey, you never know.
Nope, not this time.
Yep, could have told you that.
Let me preface by saying I do not expect our guests to deep clean the entire house before they leave or even straighten up any. But I feel like there is some sort of like respect when you're staying in someone else's home to, like, y'all will see the rest of the house. I just don't want y'all to feel like we're being super judgy because these guests do pay a cleaning fee. It's just maybe put the remotes back where you found them.
Or maybe let us know, hey, the knob fell off of the lamp.
Yeah.
It's okay, no big deal. Let's keep moving. All right, off the rip. It is extremely messy in here too. I don't know, you guys probably can't see. There's just like stuff everywhere. Like, I'm not sure what has happened here. But, yeah, no big deal.
There's also dirty dishes, which I don't make them clean their dishes.
We got a Wendy's
trash.
cup in the sink here. That's okay. That's all right. Snacks have been demolished, so good job on
I'm
the
glad that they
snacks.
used that. Trash was not taken out, which I just updated that so they don't have to do that anymore. But if y'all remember, I said this was a 1 guest, 2-night stay. They did have an unregistered guest that was not on the booking link stay, so.
And there's trash everywhere. I mean, this is kind of crazy. There's even more trash under the bed here, I just saw. They kind of, y'all gonna hate on me for saying this, but they kind of trashed the place.
Looks like they did do some laundry, so I do appreciate that. This room was used during your stay. We don't require them to take the linens off the bed, so that's good.
The remote is under the nightstand on the ground upside down, and the lamp is about to fall off, but that's all right, no big deal. We'll just put it back there. Kind of consistent with the rest of the condition of the house. The rug is jumbled up and just stuff everywhere. It's okay. At least the trash is in the trash can. I'm really not sure why there's toothpaste in the... You know, I'm not going to ask questions. They used the stuff we left. It's not destroyed. It's usable. All right, guys. I already know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but the current condition of this house was just 2 nights of somebody here that didn't respect the place. Imagine if we had a long-term renter that treated my house like this for 6 months or even a year at a time. I would come in here after our lease was over and had to spend days and weeks to get it ready for another renter. So thankfully this is 2 nights. We'll come in here real quick, fix the lamp, fix anything that's broken, clean the place up, and it's ready for new people. But if they were long-term renters, this would be every day for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it would just be trash. So perfect example of why we chose not to long-term rent.
Based on the condition that you see of the home, what would you rate this guest?
We're probably going to give them a 2 or 3 star. Every category has a rating. This guest is going to specifically get 1 star on 2 categories. 1 being communication. They never responded to any of our messages. And 2, they didn't respect our house rules because they had an unregistered guest here. Never told us about them. And we'll probably give them a lower star on cleanliness as well.
Because they didn't leave the house like they found it when they left.
Now, can't wait to see all the hate comments and see everybody that's super mad at us for like, oh my goodness, it's just a little bit of trash. But
yeah.
All right, guys.
Catch you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, straight out the gate, the 2 things I think are not okay is the broken lamp and the unregistered guest. The rest of it, normal stuff, very normal stuff. They left some mess, but doesn't seem as horrible as it was made out to be. Calling this trashed is wild, and that was the top comment with almost 500 likes. Tell me this is just rage bait. I'm a very clean person, but come on guys, that's like 5 minutes worth of cleaning. You are in the wrong business, and the creator responded back, so how many Airbnbs do you own? Tell me that. This is simple cleaning. I would definitely be upset about the lamp, but the rest is absolutely normal. They say no big deal, but make it a big deal. Like you guys wonder why people stay at hotels more. It's an Airbnb. They left the comforter on the couch. Big whoop. And before we move on, just one more clip from these creators.
Our guests from last night just checked out, so we're gonna go check out the Airbnb after their stay. I will say they did check out 17 minutes late, which in the grand scheme of things is not a huge deal, but I have a studio session in 2.5 hours here, and I do have to clean the space before they get here. So it was a big inconvenience for me for them to check out late. I think I'm just gonna put that in their personal review when I do that later, but yeah, let's go see how they left the space. Wait, they left us a review. Okay, it says, we appreciate the peaceful and comfortable home you have shared with us, wishing you much happiness and success. That is very sweet. I'm always excited when the guests use the spaces that we've created, like the living room or the kitchen or whatever, and using the things that we provide. So the space was definitely used, and the TV is turned a little bit, which not a big deal. All right, let's turn on some lights because it is quite dark in here. Looks like they use some of the dishes, which is really good. I don't require them to put up their dishes or anything, just if they'll wash them. And I don't even think I have washed your dishes, but everybody's been doing that, so I appreciate it. They also left us a note on here. It was truly lovely, thanks. It was only 2 guests, so this room probably wasn't used. I'll still wash the linens, and I have to fold up the bed for my studio session, so this space will be cleaned. The trash is not here. Looks like they made up the bed. We don't require them to make up the bed, wash their linens or anything. We just say put your clothes in the hamper, which the hamper is over there. But yeah, so that's nice of them to do that. Here's the towels, so they're ready to be washed. All right, we made it in the bathroom. It looks like they used a few of the travel size things that we provide, and all the towels that they used are in the hamper out there. So I think this space looks great. Overall, these guests were so great. They communicated very clearly. They texted us a sweet message last night, and they were like, so thankful for letting us stay. The home is so lovely. But they did check out late, so I don't know how to feel about that. Let me know your thoughts and what you would do if you were in our situation.
And once again, the description of this video is, would you have been upset with a late checkout? Again, you guys, please tell me if this is rage bait, because there's no way this is actually real. The guests left the place perfectly clean. Everything was where it should be. The remote was even put back. The pillows were organized nicely. All the beds were made. The bathrooms were perfect. The kitchen was perfect. They did their dishes even though they're not required to. And they left her not 1, but 2 kind notes. And they don't get any grace for being 17 minutes late. 17 minutes late isn't worth losing a future return customer. Showing a little grace goes a long way. And the creator responded, I'm just struggling because they were playing the piano 15 minutes after checkout. It didn't seem like they were in a rush to me. I understand where you're coming from, but they knew prior to booking the checkout time was 10 a.m. Again, with these early checkout times, most hotel checkout times are 11 a.m. So expecting people to be out by 10 a.m., I get it. It's your house, your rules. But again, just give people a grace period of 15 minutes. And you as the host set these checkout times. So if you're saying, oh, it was a big inconvenience to me, I have to get this place ready for the next guest, that comes at 4 p.m. You set these times. If you know it takes 2 or 3 hours to clean this place to get it ready for the next guest, why wouldn't you make the check-in time for the next guest a little bit later? It just baffles me when these small, tiny things are made out to be huge inconveniences. And this person, 17 minutes late was super inconvenient for me, but you had time to set up a bunch of random angle TikToks on how it looks. If this host was truly in such a rush, there is no way she would have been able to set her tripod and camera up for all of those different shots and take us on a tour around the Airbnb of how it was left. She wouldn't do any of that. Setting up a camera and tripod, getting your angles, getting your lighting, all of that takes time. I know because I do it myself, and it is not easy. So the fact that she had time to do all that really tells me that she actually wasn't in a rush. If she truly was in a rush, she would have just not done any of the TikToks and just would have quickly cleaned to get it ready for the next guest. Now, I would understand if this was inconvenient if the guests were maybe an hour late, or if they asked for a late checkout at the last minute, or if the place was truly trashed, but this was spick and span, clean and tidy. The only thing was they were 17 minutes late. If I were an Airbnb host, I would much prefer a clean, immaculate space and the person being 17 minutes late, because who knows, they were probably writing those 2 sweet notes and cleaning up your place during those 17 minutes. And clearly the host is not getting the response she was anticipating in these comments, because every comment that critiques her, she is firing back with a rebuttal, and she is not budging on the fact that these guests were 17 minutes late. Now contrast that clip to this host who actually has a reason to be upset.
Let's do a walkthrough to see how my last guest did. They had a party and they were here for 2 days, so I'm coming to check things out. Well, I go to pick up all of these trash bags to start getting the trash out and realize that a bunch of my dishes are broken in here. So So I have to determine what's broken and needs to be replaced. I came out here to check the pool about 30 minutes ago, and it is dangerously low to the point where if I don't get water filled in here soon, it could affect the motor. So I got the water hose refilling the pool, and I'm gonna get that cleaned out. The hood underneath the microwave has been burnt, so it looks like they may have caused some type of fire and this melted and burned. So I'm gonna have to get this replaced now. Finding paraphernalia remnants in all of the bedrooms. My pool sticks are broken. 2 of 3 of the pool sticks are broken. The top shelf is broken here. The pieces that go in there are missing. And all of these card games are out, so I'll have to spend more time sorting and organizing these again. Everything else in the house was fine, but now comes time for my least favorite part of hosting, which is submitting a damage claim, because every damage claim I've done has resulted in the guest leaving a bad review. I wish the platforms would disable the guest's ability to make a review once a host has submitted a damage request, at least until after the investigation is over, because having the ability to damage someone's property and affect their business by leaving a bad review is crazy work.
This host had some very valid reasons to be upset. Multiple of her dishes were broken. There was some burning underneath her microwave near the stovetop. Multiple pool sticks were broken, and also the shelves were broken as well that held all the games. And the comments say, finally someone who had a valid reason to be upset, with 20,000 likes. What were they doing in there? I see some Airbnb hosts freaking out about bare minimum cleanup, and you have real damage and you're so calm. The creator responded, I understand it's part of the risk of doing business. While it did upset me, I've learned to self-regulate pretty fast. All Airbnb hosts need to be like this woman. Now we can move on to some more unhinged host behavior.
Is there a cap on how many rules can be displayed at Airbnbs? Antique and fragile. Please do not attempt to open or pull on knobs. Decorative piece only. Do not touch or move for any reason. I am 10,000 years old and will break if you look at me the wrong way. Absolutely no jumping on beds. Any breakage of beds will be immediately passed to renters. Understood? These shelves, owners use only. Microwave is automatic. Do not pull, open, or push to close. Please do not clean marble countertops or appliances with any abrasives. Please only use soap and water spray bottle provided below sink. On departure, please leave all furniture and bedding in respective rooms and houses where originally found. This was our grandmother's table. Please be kind to it and use a placemat.
And we're only about halfway through the video. There is more. I'm not going to play it all because it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. I do understand a couple of notes here and there just to give guests a heads up about things, but this is crossing into excessive territory. Sounds like this stuff should not be in an Airbnb, and that had 100K likes. It's the do not touch on the dying cactus for me. I think they're in the wrong business. Maybe they meant to open a museum. Sounds like they shouldn't be renting out their house. You just know they have cameras in there watching you. That's another thing. You never know in these Airbnbs. You are staying in a stranger's house. There is a very real chance, especially if they care so much about their property, that they have secret cameras hidden, even though I'm pretty sure it is against Airbnb's terms of service to have hidden cameras. They need to be disclosed. People are going to do what they're going to do, and they want to protect their stuff, so they may have hidden cameras and you will never know. What a gracious and inviting home, with a laughing emoji. Why have grandma's table in an Airbnb? If you're renting out your house as an Airbnb and you have a feeling that some guests may not take care of your things the way that you would like, why on earth would you put valuable items in there? Just stock that with IKEA furniture and things that don't have much value, so that way if they get ruined, it's not going to be a huge problem. The thought process of this host is just, I don't understand it. The other annoying thing about staying in an Airbnb is, even though the posting will say, we have essentials for you, we have shampoo, we have soap, dishwashing pods, towels, and that sort of thing, you don't really know until you arrive if that stuff is actually going to be there and in what quantity.
My family is staying at an Airbnb when we go on spring break, and the Airbnb listing tells you all the things that they are supplying you, like 1 roll of toilet paper in each bathroom, blah, blah, blah. And listed, it says that they will provide us 1 dishwasher pod. 1. We are staying for a week. There are 9 people going. You want us to just wash the dishes 1 time? And the annoying thing is that if you want more, you have to go buy more, which it's not the money. It's just I'm going to buy all these dishwasher pods and then leave them there, which is fine. But I shouldn't have to do that. It's part of the reason why I don't love Airbnb. But it does make sense when you're traveling with a lot of people and you have children with you and there's a pool. But it's like, why are we being so cheap with the dishwasher pods? And I know that some people don't use things smartly or correctly, but like, who's going wild with dishwasher pods? Really? Maybe they're afraid people are going to steal them. But again, who's stealing dishwasher pods? Not me.
And straight to the comments we go. All these comments saying, just go buy it, are missing the point. I shouldn't have to spend more money for basic necessities when renting an Airbnb. A reasonable amount of necessities should be available. I understand hosts not wanting people to take home what they don't use, but if that happens, then charge them after. My family of 6 rented a cabin in Gatlinburg for a week. There were 2 rolls of toilet paper, 1 in each bathroom. 2 for 6 people for 7 days. And they force you to start the dishwasher before you leave. It should be 1 pod per day. That's reasonable. I'd choose another Airbnb. I refuse to support hosts like that. Another thing that hosts will do is they will try their best to control your behavior for your entire stay. Here's a host who locked the thermostat at 80 degrees and they're staying in Jacksonville, Florida, which is very hot and very humid. And the host is not giving them the pin for the thermostat. And you can see in the picture, it's locked, so the temperature can't be changed. Also, I came across this video where everything in the home is essentially locked and zip tied. The fridge is locked and zip tied. The cabinets are locked and zip tied. There is a random piece of furniture there wrapped in saran wrap, I guess to keep people from getting in there. Again, why are you renting on Airbnb if you're going to do this to your guests? What sort of Airbnb doesn't allow you to use the refrigerator? I'd be leaving and getting my money back. Call Airbnb. They would have immediately refunded you and gotten you another accommodation. And the creator responded, oh, I left a bad review. They just called me last night to talk about our experience. I also don't want people going through my fridge and cabinets, so I don't rent out my house on Airbnb. There you go. For all they know, you could have had medication that required refrigeration for safe storage, insulin, etc. Yikes. That place has secret cameras 100%. This is why we don't do Airbnb. We do hotel and pay extra. So another thing is on Airbnb, you can rent a shared space, which is like a room in someone's house, which of course you're going to be seeing the host or seeing other guests, or you can rent an entire place to yourself. And when you rent an entire place to yourself, you're not supposed to see anyone else there. You're not supposed to see the guests and you're not supposed to see the host. When the Airbnb host decides to join you on your vacation, the description says like, ma'am, you got 362 other days you can do this. Why are you out here with us? Anyway, she brought her granddaughter to swim with us and everything. She was cool though, but girl. The comments say, unless it's previously stated in their posting, it's a shared space, they can't be there. Contact Airbnb. She did that on purpose. Refund, please. Huh? As an Airbnb host, I'm appalled. And she was getting some critical comments saying that this was a shared space and she was just doing this for views. And the creator clarified, I don't know how many times I have to say I rented the home, not a room or a space in the home. I know how things work. So she rented the entire home and she was supposed to have that privacy to herself, and the host was definitely not supposed to show up unannounced. That is just wild behavior on the host part. Another gripe that I have with Airbnb is pretty much 80 to 90% of the time, the listing does not look like the pictures. I'm pretty sure Airbnb sends out photographers to these houses, they get lighting, they get professional pictures, they get all the angles to make sure the place looks way bigger than it actually is, and they even use AI to retouch the photos and make them look nothing like the actual place.
Possibly one of the worst Airbnbs we've ever stayed at. Come and have a look round with us. So a little bit battered up, you know, to be expected this time of year. However, it gets worse. All the kitchen sides were dead sticky. Fancy some toast, anyone? Living room, a lot more promising, although it is a little bit dirty and stuff. That TV doesn't work, doesn't do anything. Let me show you outside. So I'm going to insert some clips of what the garden was looking like on the listing compared to what actually it looks like. This is the misleadingness of AI. Now, AI is really clever and it can help a lot of people. However, misleading people on Airbnb listings with AI is just not it. Do you fancy going to the toilet? Or maybe you could have a nice sit down on this lovely set of table and chairs? Right, let's go upstairs for another treat. Like scrappy decor I can probably get over. But the beds, I definitely can't. Sunken in mattresses, dirty tissues left on the side. It was absolutely vile in here. Did not sleep in here. And what's funny is about 10 minutes before we checked in, they asked for another £250 deposit in case we did any damages. we'd be doing them a favour if we damaged anything, because then they might actually have to replace it. This bedroom, a lot better. However, still not the best. Still dirty, still horrible, really. The bathroom, again, just really worn out, tired, really scabby and dirty and horrible. And then these were the towels that were left, just like really scatty, frayed up, like got crap on it, like just disgusting. I showered at my mum's house. Like fittings like this loose, but then want us to make sure we don't damage anything. Just overall, just really manky and horrible. The sink's probably the cleanest bit. I will be reporting the misleading listing to Airbnb so that we can warn other people, but it's probably one of the worst for how misleading it was. And we paid a lot of money over Christmas as well to stay here. The only thing that did work, and it worked too well, was the boiler. At some points it was 35 degrees. It was saying I had to try and work out how to switch it off because the thermostats just don't work. So at one point it was like being in Dubai, but clearly with the surroundings we were not. So make sure to follow me for more reviews and let me know in the comments, would you stay here? We did try and move, but honestly it was so expensive, and so because it was Christmas there was literally nothing we could really get, so we had to just grin and bear it, but never again.
Straight over to the comments we go. This is why I don't use Airbnb. Premier Inn never fails. I'm assuming Premier Inn is a hotel. Someone else said, name and shame them. And the creator responded, I will be doing so once I have my money back, or even sooner if they don't pay up. So she is still trying to get her money back. They have nerve even advertising that. It's trash. I'm sorry that happened to you. You should have been completely refunded. And this is why we stay in hotels. And we got another one here. When the Airbnb pictures look nothing like the place you paid $850 for. You can just see the outside of the home does not look like the pictures. There's a dirty rug, and the patio in the picture looks beautiful and perfect. There's stains on the chairs. There's, I don't know, what is that, a wasp nest? Just completely dilapidated and worn out. There's just stains all over the carpets. And then you see the picture that they provided and it's completely different. Stains all over, random holes in the brick wall, a fireplace that looks like it was out of a scary movie, broken window. And this just keeps on going. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And this is just straight up misleading advertising. What I like about hotels is I go on Google Maps, I look at the hotel and I look at pictures, and I don't look at the pictures from the hotel themselves. I look at the pictures from visitors, because that's the best way, at least I've found, to gauge how the hotel actually looks. But unfortunately with Airbnb, you don't have that option. There are only pictures provided by the host, and so you don't actually get to see what it truly looks like until you get there. Someone commented, actually you do have a choice. I was in a similar situation. I contacted the booking service, sent them pictures, they put me in a hotel for 3 days. After 3 days, I had to find somewhere else. The creator responded, Airbnb saw my TikTok and refunded me. I didn't even ask. Now that's great, she got refunded, but how annoying is it to book a vacation and then realize that you have to change all of your plans at the last minute? There may not be alternative accommodation available. It's just a hassle and not a situation I would want to find myself in. The other problem with Airbnbs is reviews are often artificially inflated because of the rating system. So guests can review the property, but property owners can also review the guests. So both parties are typically afraid to leave bad reviews because they're scared of getting retaliated against. Hosts often don't want to give bad guests bad reviews because they're scared of getting a bad review on their property, which can lower their rating for other guests. And then guests are afraid to leave a lower than 5-star review because they're afraid it's going to hurt the business of the host, even if the place was not up to par. So the outcome of this is mediocre places get 5-star ratings, and anything under a 5-star is considered bad. This problem is so bad to the point where hosts will even harass their guests in order for them to get a better review.
My Airbnb host is harassing me to delete my review, but I didn't even leave a bad review, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not even the kind of person that would normally leave reviews, but I checked out of this Airbnb yesterday, and since then I've already gotten like 5 messages from this host being like, please review me, please review me. So I did, and shocker, be careful what you wish for. I was honest. Oh my God, I gave a 4-star review overall because it was a nice stay, but not worth 5 stars. There were 2 main issues, I think. One was that it was freezing and the thermostat was capped at a certain temperature, so it was like always 62 degrees. And the other is the place had an overpowering air freshener scent, and I was like, I bet this is covering up a really bad smell. And sure enough, when I left, all of my clothes, everything I brought has this like gross smell. I have to like walk wash at all. So just that right there, I was like, I probably wouldn't go back. So like, I'm not gonna give 5 stars to somewhere I wouldn't go back to. Anyways, I left this review and 1 minute later, I started getting inundated with message after message from this host being like, please remove your review. Here's step-by-step how to do it. Contact Airbnb support. And then like gaslighting me about the issues, being like, well, if it was so bad, like, why didn't you tell me in the moment? Why wait until you had to leave a review? They were like, I don't know what smell you're referring to, but our place is brand new. Like, respectfully, it was like the most rundown old house ever. But anyways, they were like, if you don't remove your review, like, we're gonna lose our superhost rating, like, it really impacts us. But then I was reading online a little bit, and it kind of makes it seem like the Airbnb rating system is like a 4-star is actually a lot worse than it seems. Like, it's kind of unfair like that. So I'm kind of torn what to do. Like, it's weird that they're harassing me, but also I don't want to really negatively impact their business like more than I intend to. But I did leave like a well-rounded, honest review. I was like, it was a good location, it was well stocked, etc. But like, these are my 2 issues. So I don't know.
The comments say, I would honestly update it and say that the host is harassing you. Update the review saying the owner is harassing you to take down the review and contact customer support. No empathy for Airbnb people who take up real estate. I'd report them for harassing you. That's definitely not a superhost thing to do. And lastly, as we saw in my Coachella video, some Airbnb hosts will notice that there is an event coming up in the area that their Airbnb is in and will either cancel the reservation on you. They'll tell you that they sold the house, that they have to do renovations. They will do anything that they can in order to cancel your reservation so that they can repost their Airbnb for a way higher price and price gouge and get more money out of another guest. Please let me know your thoughts on Airbnb. Are you still using the service? Are there better alternatives? I feel like Airbnb is slowly dying out and people are getting more and more fed up with their antics, but thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below a dog emoji so I know you watched the whole thing. And if you don't want to wait for my next upload, you can go ahead and check out this video right here on the screen. But thank you guys again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.